What's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. I got kind of a quick one, maybe an easy one. I got a text message from Scabbard today over at Choir Boys Outdoors, and it was pretty simple. He said, what are the 3 things you look for in a pocket knife? I was out in the middle of a hike in the middle of the woods, and still, without even thinking about it, the answer came so easy to me. And the 3 things I look for in a pocket knife are size, shape, ease of use. That's it. I don't give 2 craps about materials, fit and finish, things like that. And here's what I mean. This is something I carry often. It fits in my hand. It's got a good size. It's got a beautiful leaf shape with a nice drop top. It looks really, really sweet. This is a cheap, I mean cheap, like $15 gas station knife. It is made of cheap materials. The handles are some kind of tin. I don't even know. They're garbage. It's a thin liner lock. You can see how thin the frame is. There's nothing special about this knife. Fit and finish is just okay. But it works. It works. And it's really super attractive as far as shape. I love this shape. I love the fact that it fits my hands. That's the most important thing. And I can one-hand operation really easy. I just stump myself as I say that. But it's just nice and simple. This thing would, for most, would be considered garbage. I use this all the time. All the time. It's a really, really good knife. Cheap gas station knife. So right away you're thinking, all right, fit and finish and materials. Maybe this would be one of the worst of the bunch you could possibly pick. I mean, there's some that are a lot worse, like some of those all plastic. I mean, the whole frame, everything is plastic on those old frost cutlery ones, like the cheap $2 bin knives. That's a completely different kind of cheap knife. This is an all metalish cheap knife, but this thing is really, really good. It's just a good knife. And then you go to the other extreme when you talk about a knife that's made with really good materials, and you have this guy from Cold Steel. One-hand operation, it gets stuck. It's hard to open one hand. Then try and close this. You have to pull this tab, push this, and not push too hard because you'll cut your fingers off. The size is good. The shape is good. That's it. That's as far as it goes. It's a good knife. It works well. I totally forget what it's called. The Pocket Bushman from Cold Steel. It's a really, really good working knife. And even though this knife is way better than this knife on a technical aspect, when you're looking at materials and all that, I mean, this knife is way better. I would rather carry this any freaking day of the work, any day of the week. Just like the Cold Steel Kudu. Cheap knife, but it's just the closing and opening is hard. So, and it's like when you have a buck 110. It's not exactly, can you open and close them with one hand? Sure, it's going to take a bit. It's going to be a struggle, but it's not that, it doesn't have that ease of use. And that's really, really what comes down to it. This one right here, this is the Victorinox Swiss Champ. One of my favorite knives ever made. Not just one of my favorite, this is one of my favorite knives ever made. This thing is a beast. But if you don't have thumbnails or you can't get a little pinch on there, these things are a pain in the nuggets to work. They are not user-friendly for people without fingernails. Has everything you want in it, but this, even though it's one of my favorite knives ever made, it's not one of my favorite pocket knives because it doesn't have an ease of use. Fit and finish is great. Materials are great. But that's where it pretty much stops. So then you get into like a mid-range thing. Bam! Right there. Oh, man. Size, shape, winner, chicken dinner. This is one of the nicest looking folders you're ever going to meet right here, right? This is the Cold Steel Formax. This is the real Formax, the made in Italy Formax. This thing is an absolute beast. Is it able to be used one-handed? Yeah, it is, but you still kind of want two hands, because on the closing, you can open it no problem, but closing it's going to be there. It's big, so it's a little bit on the big side, but does that bother me personally? No, because I'm big. So this thing just fits my hand so well in the shape. Again, it's a beautiful drop point. It's just got gorgeous, gorgeous lines. This thing is an all-day, everyday thing for me. I can carry this anywhere, anytime, but it's still not as nice as some. Scabbard just sent me one to play with from JR. And I always forget the name of this. It's like CKF, I believe it is. And, oh, there's a name on it. And it's another big knife, frame lock, but one-handed operation. If I compare it to the Formax, you can see this is a reverse tanto. And this is a straight-up drop. But you can see that they're both big knives. They're just big knives. I freaking love these things. This one, however, this one has an easier ease of use, right? Materials, you're not going to find much better in materials. This thing is just awesome. This thing is so freaking awesome. But size, shape, and ease of use. And when you say size, and you hear me talking about this guy, you think, oh, so that means he only wants these big knives. Well, this isn't. Well, this is a good size knife. It's not gigantic, but it's not small. So this is the Master Chief. And when I'm talking about size, what I mean is size in the hand, right? Size in the hand. It has to fit the hand. If I looked at the inside grip of this to the inside grip of this, it's the same, right? So this thing, while much bigger, has the same grip as this one. This knife I've been carrying, I just used it in the woods today. I had to come home and clean it up. This thing is sweet, man. Watch the video on this. This is the Kubi Master Chief. Look at the shape. It's a really attractive knife, man. This thing is so good looking. And the size is perfect. It's hand size. This fits in a big hand. And it's appropriately shaped. And that's another the shape here, not just the shape here, but everything, the shape. You see so many where they just lose you in the grip. It's like, are you serious? This is the grip you're going to put on that knife? It sucks. And there's so many companies, really good companies, that just suck with doing grips. And some great knives just have crappy grips. I could pull out the what is it? The top Silent Hero. And the grip inside of here is so dinky, it's hard for someone like me to grab. Even the Prather War Buoy could use a little bit more meat in the front section of that grip. Some places, they can give you a great knife and just lose it in one department. K-bar, I can't stand most K-bar grips. So it's not just shape of the blade. It has to be shaped back here too when you're talking about not just a pocket knife, but any knife. So that is super, super important to me. When you really want to talk about ease of operation, though, this thing checks all the boxes. Size, perfect in the hand. Perfect. Contoured good. It fits everywhere. Ease of use, it's just push of a button. The shape, it's a double-edged dagger. This thing is just sweet. I do like knives that have like girth, right? I like a wide blade rather than a narrow blade. But when you're talking about a dagger, something like that, it's kind of important that it's not too wide unless it's a fixed blade. But this thing right here, as far as what do I look for, and this one checks literally all the boxes. Ease of use, this is one of the easiest of use. Looks, it has it. It's got great style to it. It's got really beautiful design quality. And size. This is the Combat Trudon by Microtech, and it is so well sized. It's just perfect in the hand. So, what do I look for in a pocket knife? Super, super simple. Size, shape, ease of use. That's it. If I hurt an arm in the middle of the woods, or if I bust an arm and I got to fight out of a situation, I need to be able to use my tools with one hand. And this is not that tool, but this will, this could be or will be, or It's just simply what it's made to be. So yeah, that was a good question by Scab. I'm really glad he asked it because it promoted this. But most definitely, do I care about materials and fit and finish and all that jazz? Not if it knifes. If the knife knifes, it knifes. What do you want? This thing will cut all day long. I have used this hundreds, and I mean hundreds of times on different cuts, and it's still good. It's got that cheap spring assist. It's made with what's considered, you know, like people would say, oh, those are garbage materials. Oh, that's junk. Oh, that's wall hanger. You get a lot of knife snobs that say that crap. But then when you pull out a knife that you've used more than their $500 knife made of some kind of super steel, and you say, I don't know, mine held up the same as yours did. Well, anyway, that's it. So yeah, size, shape, ease of use is more important to me than any other 3 factors in the knife world. As long as it knifes, it knifes. And it has to look good doing it. So, that's it for this one. I am Donnie all day. Until next knife.